Hi, everybody.
Hi. Oh, it's time to start.
Yeah, John is not here yet. Oh,
Yeah.
Yes, I'm here now.
oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Good, good. So what do you have? Nice to see you. Tadao, you said you had some questions.
But we do not have Sarah and Jonathan. Where are they?
They will come.
Expect they're coming.
Ah,
I expect they will come. Do you want to start?
or other people may have questions.
Roti, you had a couple of things you wanted to ask, didn't you?
Yes, I do. Let me look for the questions.
Okay, Sarah and Jonathan are coming now. Tom and Beverly are not here tonight because they are driving to New Mexico, where they're going to be for a couple of months. So Tom and Bev won't be here with us tonight.
Sorry, we're late. We had a problem logging in. I think they've changed the login details.
Oh, okay. So Roti, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah. Let me look for the question. I'm just looking where it is exactly. Well, I have two questions. It's because now I'm translating the text about Buddhism and COVID-19 from English to Spanish, and I'm kind of revising it again and checking the tie and polishing a little bit. And I have this question about well, there's this sentence in the text in which Ajahn is saying that as soon as we die, this individuality ceases to exist. It is impossible to find it again in samsara. So I thought that this means that the particular combination of conditions that sustain such individuality expire, right? That's actually what it means. And so I told this to Anne the other day on WhatsApp, and she brought up the thing about the object of the Babwanga Chitta, which is determined in the Chitta before Chuti Chitta. Is that right? Yes. So that means that the conditions for this particular condition that that determines the next lifetime happens in the present lifetime, right? And that was kind of your.
Well, yeah, as I understand it, the object of the Bhavanga Jita in the next life is the same object as the Jita immediately preceding the Juti Jita in this life. Is that correct?
So that would mean that all the. So what was the problem regarding that, Anne?
I think it wasn't so much a problem as you were interested in the carryover is not the right word, but that the same object could be the object of the Bhavanga Jita in the next life. Sarah, Jonathan, is that accurate?
The several points here. The first one is, of course, in reality, there's no Roti, no Anne, no
Right.
Sarah. There are just different namas and rupas that are taken for being this individual or that individual. And this is because of the nature of those different namas and rupas that they get to be taken in for this one and that one. And at the end of this lifetime, there will be no namas or rupas taken for Roti or Anne, because what we know as Roti or Anne will no longer exist at all. And one of the conditions, one of the reasons why these namas or rupas are taken for this person or that person is because right from the first moment of life, Patisandhi and subsequent Bhavanga Jitas carry all the accumulated tendencies or the accumulated karma that will bring results in this life. And as you mentioned, they just experience the unknown object, which is the same object as the last kusala chitas before death in the previous life. In this case, it's a result of kusala karma. So they must have been kusala chitas before death in the last lifetime, and conditioning the birth consciousness of this lifetime. And the object, as you said, is exactly the same as the object of those chitas. And so the Bhavanga chitas during this life create an impression and carry all the karma that will bring results in this lifetime. So after this lifetime, no more what we come to call Roti or Anne at all.
Right. We were talking about how the individuality ceases to exist at the end of a lifetime. And yet there's this...
Well, just one thing, Anne. We were not talking about the individuality ceasing to exist, because there's not such a thing.
Yeah.
We
well,
were...
what we call...
The conditions with which sustain certain characteristics, which we call Roti or Anne or Jonathan, right? They cease to exist.
Correct.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I meant by that.
Past karma. Yeah.
I'm
So,
sorry, John, what did you say?
the past karma.
Yeah.
So there are two different things. The individuality we know as such and such, and the object of the Bhavanga Citta. They have a different timing, as it were. So
A different what?
they have different timing. So the object of next life Bhavanga Citta is also the object of the final Cittas of this life before death.
You're saying Chittas in plural, or you mean just the final, the Chitta with before Chutti? Is
I
that
believe
what you
there's
mean?
the process.
There's
There's a
five-
process.
five
There are five
Right.
Cittas. Yeah.
Several Jitas.
Right,
The 5 Javana Jitas before death.
Oh, it's the 5, eh? Okay.
correct.
Usually there's 7, but before death there are just 5.
Right. So, I mean, but we can consider the object of Bhavanga as part of those characteristics which define the particular individuality, right?
Not really, because no one experiences that object.
Well, no object. Oh, I mean, no object is experienced by anyone. Not only the object of Bhavanga. Is that what you're saying?
What we take for the personality of the individual, right,
Right.
doesn't include the object of the Bhavanga Citta. It's other things.
Jitas have their effect all through life, whether the Bhavanga Jitas are arising with pleasant feeling or not with pleasant feeling, whether they're arising with with panya or not with panya, they have their effect throughout life.
So in that case, probably if they do have an effect.
Yeah, no, they have an effect, but they're not known at all.
But
So what is seen is just visible object, but what the visible object, the sound, the different realities are all conditioned by the Patisandhi chitta of this life. Why this is a human form and not an animal form, for example, because it's a result of Kutala karma, not a result of Akutala karma. So the visible objects taken for an ant are different from the visible objects taken for a human.
So, for example, if what defines it is if in this lifetime it is a person or a human being or an animal, that has nothing to do with the object of bhavanga, which is defined in the 5 chittas before death.
The object is quite unknown, but those bhavanga chittas are the result of karma, and the result of karma that conditions rebirth. Human realm is different from the karma that conditions rebirth in animal realm. So the karma from the past conditions all the bhavanga chittas throughout life, along with seeing and hearing and other vipaka chittas. So it has its effect throughout life, even though the object of bhavanga chittas is completely unknown.
Right. So we could say it has an effect on the personality. We could say that, right? Yes. Yeah.
That we can.
We can. You said
I
we
don't
can.
know that we can. I'm not sure we can say that. I would say it doesn't seem to me that is the case.
What is it like right now? What is the personality? Because the seeing is vipaka chitta, the bhavangas are vipaka chitta, but the kindness or the anger now is the result of primarily the result of the accumulated tenderness.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I would call.
Not primarily as because of karma, but if there was no birth in this realm, then there wouldn't be conditions for some of those accumulated tendencies like panya to manifest. But the real condition of that personality is those accumulated tendencies. So the conditions are very complex and detailed and interrelated. We have to understand what is a result of karma and what is a result of past habitual or accumulated tendencies. But those accumulated tendencies couldn't arise without karma having had its results. Just like the results of karma now, the seeing and hearing now couldn't be conditioned by that karma without Pakatu Upanisya Paksha as well. So complex. It's not a simple answer.
Right.
So in brief, I think what would be helpful, or a helpful way to think of it, I think, is what we know as the individual in this lifetime is a result of karma and accumulated tendencies. And the object of the Patisandhi citta is also, Patisandhi citta itself is also a result of karma. But that's the only association that I think can be made, the bhavanga citta result. But I think it's more helpful to think of the individual as being a result of karma and also accumulated tendencies, rather than to connect it to the object of the bhavanga citta.
But the object of the bhavanga citta is also a result of karma, isn't it?
Bhavanga citta itself, like the object of the bhavanga citta, is like now the object of the bhavanga citta right now. It could be a concept, it could be a sense object, it could be anything. So the concept that's thought about now, if death is coming, then if death was to come, then that could be the same object of the Patisandhi of the next lifetime. So it could be any idea. So we cannot say the idea is a result of karma, but the bhavanga citta itself is a result of karma that experiences that particular object. Like a visible object that's seen now, the visible object is not the result of karma, but the seeing which sees that visible object and not another one, that seeing is the result of karma.
So what the object of the Bhavanga Chitta is a result of what?
It could be any object. It could be like a concept now. Concept now, we don't say it's the result of anything because it's just a concept, an idea that is thought about. It could be a sense object if it's a visible object, just like now the visible object can be, if it's outside the body, it's conditioned by temperature.
Can be, for example, an image of the future destiny.
I'm still not. Sorry, what did you say?
It can be any object at all, just like now, any object. So if we're talking about sound, the conditions for sound are different from the conditions for feeling or concept.
Be a past deed.
Thinking about a past.
Past deed, is that what you said,
Yes.
John?
Yes.
But is the important point there that it really doesn't matter what the object is? The object itself doesn't have an effect, doesn't carry any significance? The object of the Bhavanga Citta?
Well, I think that's a standard thing, isn't it? The object of consciousness doesn't carry any particular significance. It's always the consciousness itself.
Right. I get. The only, I'm thinking of, for instance, seeing. It's only visible object. That's right. And in some people, depending on accumulations, that can be sort of a trigger for attachment or dosa or various concepts. So the object itself then is.
Again, it's the accumulated tendency for attachment.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Rather than the object.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
Only visible object. It's just that the object of experience, experience for an instant and then gone forever. Nothing
Right.
at all.
And it's accumulated tendencies that will lead to various papanja and all of that. Yeah.
Yes. Not the visible object.
Right.
What you say, Anne, reminds me of how it's been explained by Ajahn, for example, that those who develop samatha to very high degrees, when there's no teaching of Buddha in particular, they have noticed the association, the concurrence between sense story experiences and attachment. So they take the approach that if there are no sense store experiences, then all that attachment will have a condition to arise. And that's how it comes to be the development of samatha to a high degree of concentration, such that jhana citta can arise.
Seeing a visible or pleasant, desirable visible object now is a result of kusala karma, but it can just be conditioned for more lobha. So
Yes.
the personality, the tendency is the accumulated lobha. Because whether it's a desirable or undesirable visible object seen just depends on past karma.
Person who develops insight is not that concerned about whether it's kusala citta or akusala citta that is arising. Because development is to understand the true nature of the reality.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Are you here today, John?
What did you say, Sarah?
I just asked if Jan was here today because I can see the picture, but I
Yeah,
wondered.
she said hello a little while ago, just right before you came.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm here now. And I couldn't hear very well, but it's all right. You are
Can you
talking
hear?
about Pavankatitta, right? The object of Pavankatitta. But there are so many realities that cannot be known. For example, the birth consciousness, the death consciousness, can they be known? Not at all. So the same as Pavanka, it cannot be known until the panya is so high that it can experience different realities one at a time. And what is there is what we call Pavanka. But when there is the understanding of the words like no one and no self, why would have thought about that which cannot be directly experienced as birth consciousness and death consciousness? But it's there. Who knows? That's why from the teaching, it brings about the understanding of no one more and more and more and more from understanding the truth of what is the unknown. For example, is there any citta before the process of eye process, ear process? Is there a citta? A citta. See, what is that? That cannot be directly object of this moment. But what is appearing now, like sound, it's heard. But before it's heard, it has to be the process of that seeing from moment of Panchattvara Vachana and so on. But that cannot be known. That's why from the teachings of the Buddha, we learn about no self, even that moment. But there must be the understanding of, is there any citta before the moment of seeing or before the process of seeing? There must be, see, unknown. What about the Panchattavara Vachana? Unknown. And what about the seeing? Seeing sees now, but it cannot be directly object of Panya to know that it's not the other cittas before or after. See, that's why learning the teachings about is to begin to understand the truth of life, which no one knows, only the enlightened one who taught us about what is as no self. Anything which appears now is no one, no thing at all. That's why learning to understand the truth that actually, even in this moment, there must be the Pavanka, see, before seeing, as much as one can understand. So it depends on how much there is the understanding of that which is conditioned to be there, like Pavanka, unknown now, and the Padisanti or death consciousness unknown now. So can there be death after seeing? It's there, unknown. But as after seeing has fallen away, the other citta and citasikas arise instantly. So it's just like now, death of each moment, momentarily, death all the time. So no doubt about whether is there any citta after death, there must be. And what is the object of it? Before there can be the end of the process, the aramana of that process is experienced before it's gone. So after the death is there, there must be conditions for at the moment to arise, follow instantly, and experience the same object as the object before death. Just like now. After seeing process, Vanka is there. It cannot be known because it does not experience any object to any Dawe. Like while one is fast asleep, there must be citta before moment of seeing or hearing when one wakes up. So when death is there, fallen away, it conditioned the next moment by Anantarapajaya. And what follows, the same aramana, which is the same of the citta after death, as usual, like now. What is there after seeing Vanka, and then the process, the mind process, followed instantly, immediately. But after this, there is no Bhuvanka in between because there are conditions for Patisanti Citta to arise by Sammanantarapati. So the object is the same object as what is experienced before death, just like now. Is there any question? This is only how come the birth consciousness, after death consciousness, and what is the object of birth consciousness after death consciousness. Just like ordinary life now. But it is Samutti Morana, not Kanika Morana, and not the Samucheka Morana. Each is different at different moment. Just arise, perform its function, and then gone completely, never return. And this is the meaning of samsara. Even now, it is samsara. Just go around seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, thinking, and then to the end of life. And begin again as next life. Seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. So each moment is samsara. It's not the end of samsara yet.
Ajahn, I have a question. Why must there be Bhavanga Chittas between the Vithi Chittas?
Okay, can the Panchatvara Vachana arise after the process of seeing instantly?
I don't know. I mean, according to what the text say, it does not, but I don't know what's the significance.
Is there no conditions to condition moment of what is in between before the next process after the previous one? What is there in between?
So what is the
Life goes on.
So what is the particular condition that after Vithi process, there must be Bhavanga immediately?
Anantarapajaya and Samanantapajaya. Otherwise, there must be doubt which cannot be answered. What pajaya? Anantarapajaya with Samanantarapajaya. Nothing can arise after that. There must be Bhavanga in between to keep life goes on before the next process can begin. Even at moment of what is touching, Bhavanga cannot just arise before the Bhavangacharana and Bhavangupacheta.
But Anantara Pachaya and Samananta Pachaya occurs between each chitta, even within the Vithi chittas.
So why it is different when it's Patisanti and Bhavanga and process?
So why is it different, Ajahn?
There must be what is the process? Chitta? Can it be Pancha Tuvara Vachana instantly? Because what is there after each process must be Bhavanga in between. So sure, like now, seeing and hearing cannot be separated as it's there without understanding. So to understand that what is there in between the process of seeing and hearing, see, there must be something as there must be the chitta before the process. While one is fast asleep, what is there? No seeing, hearing, not any doorway at all. That's why it is Bhavanga, keeps on. Even the object is not experienced through any doorway. But citta has to arise, and when citta arises, it must have the object of experiencing. Citta cannot arise without object.
And Anantra and Samanantra isn't something between chittas. It just, Anantra just explains how each chitta conditions the next one. Samanantra just refers to how the chitta now, the specific chitta, has to follow the one before. So after the idol process, there has to be Bhavanga chitta because of Samanantra Pacha, not any other one. So each chitta has to be followed by the next one, no matter at the end of life or now or any time. And it has to be the particular chitta as described by the Buddha, not any other one, because of Samanantra Pacha.
Why the question came was Achan, when she was explaining just before that, she said as much as one can understand that there are bhavangas in between or something to the effect. So I was wondering about understanding, and this explanation about each chitta being Anantara Pachaya and Samanantara Pachaya does not particularly point to why there must be bhavangas after each Vithijittas.
Because of Samanantra Pacha, after the last chitta in the idol process, it cannot be anything other than Bhavanga chitta, or after the Patisandhi chitta of this first moment of this life, it has to be followed by Bhavanga chittas. This is the natural, by niyama, the natural way. But because of Samanantra Pacha, it cannot be any other one. After mind door averting consciousness, mano dwara vajana chitta, that mind door averting consciousness has to be followed by kusala or akusala chittas, not by vipaka chitta, not by kiriya chitta.
I mean,
in the case of the arahat. So it's the way the law is that it has to be the way it is. So there's no point asking why this, why that, why is seeing consciousness followed by sampatichana because of Samanantra Pacha. It has to be followed by another vipaka chitta.
No, I understand about niyama. That's by the way I always thought. But the reason I said, as I said, Achan said, as much as one can understand. So I was wondering about understand. It's not just what we hear from the text and conclude that it's niyama. I thought it was something more than just that.
As much as we can understand means as much as we can understand in theory about why it is sampatichana and then santirana, and we can learn that there are reasons why vipaka chittas have to follow the seeing consciousness and why the sampatichana has to have more chitta seekers arising with it than the seeing. So that's what is meant by as much as we can understand in theory about the realities like Bhavanga chitta and sampatichana which don't appear.
What is now appearing is not known yet. So how can there be the experiencing of that which cannot be known? Like sampatichana, it's there at the moment of seeing, but it cannot be known. And then can be doubt by not understanding the way Dhamma is by. Is there Bhavanga after the moment of seeing before sampatichana? See, there can be any doubt about anything. But what can be known more about actually there's no one at all is what is there now to understand that seeing cannot be anything else, so it cannot be anyone either. That's why it begins to understand the benefit, the usefulness of understanding what is there as not self. Otherwise, it brings about everything. Can there be Bhavanka before moment of Sampatichana after seeing consciousness? See, that can come any time, thinking just about that which appears, from not understanding that which appears as it's there by conditions. Otherwise, there cannot be the understanding of any conditions like Anantarapajaya and Samanantarapajaya. But that is the way Dhamma is. Otherwise, we might think by our own self, can there be this or can there be that? Can there be Bhavanka before Santirana, after Sampatichana, and so on? The self is there because not understanding that which is of self now appearing. That's why just learn to understand the truth, whether it can be just like that, and who can enlighten its truth as it is, not permanent at all. What is there now is not there now. What is there now is not there now. So very rapidly. Otherwise, there must be the idea of self or thinking, and not understanding that even thinking is taken from I, while thinking is only thinking. Can we think out by ourselves what is there before seeing and after seeing? Impossible. Not understand even the characteristic of that which sees as it's conditioned to see and fall away instantly. No one and nothing there at all. As long as it's far away, it seems to be something there, but that which impinges on the ibis, that can be experienced because seeing sees that, and seeing arises at the ibis, which at that moment the object impinges on it. So that can be seen as nothing at all. Not a girl, not a bed or whatever. Nothing, only that which is there impinged on the ibis can be seen. What is doubt?
It's a reality. It's a mental reality. It's a
Really
nama.
no one there. It's not known. It is I doubt. But if doubt does not arise, there can be the idea of I doubt. But whatever is there unknown is taken for something of I. Kunroti, do you still have something to say or something to think about? Or is there other question?
Jan, his original question, I think it's good if he repeats it, was that you said as soon as we die, this individual ceases to exist, impossible to find it again in samsara. And his question was about what is meant by the individual and the role of the Bhavanga Chitas. Was that right, Roti?
If there's nothing which is seen, can they be thinking about that? That which is not seen. Right now,
No,
can anything think about that which hasn't been seen before or heard before?
cannot think about it. Something that has not been seen before, one cannot think about it.
Can you think about what now, which hasn't been seen or experienced before?
One cannot think about something that has not been experienced before, Ajahn.
See, now can there be the thinking of what which you think it hasn't been experienced before.
Chan, in a way, it's always thinking something that's not happened before based on what's experienced before, but it's always something new.
Yes, that's why thinking about that which has been experienced before.
My doubt, can you hear me?
Okay.
Yes.
Is there hearing now? Is there any doubt about hearing? Which hears now?
There is hearing now.
There is hearing, no doubt about hearing. It hears, but no understanding that it's only a moment conditioned to arise to hear. It's I hear. But where's the I at moment of hearing?
The I is only thinking, imagination.
After hearing, right? So at the actual moment of hearing, where is the I? Because it's hearing.
There's,
One. How
at the
come?
moment of hearing, there is only hearing.
After hearing or at moment of hearing?
At the moment of hearing, there is only hearing. The I comes after hearing.
So actually, seeing cannot be taken from I. In truth. That's why we learn about the truth of everything as it is. Hearing cannot be seeing. Seeing sees, no one sees. It's the hearing which hears and seeing which sees. If nothing arises at all, can there be a world? And what are there in the world? Many things conditioned to arise. That's why the absolute meaning of the world is that which arises and falls away. Not permanent, never to return. And what about that which you seen a moment ago and the seeing a moment ago? Could it arise again?
No, Jan.
See, never at all. Never to arise again.
We can
Completely gone, absolutely gone.
we can say that what was heard before can never arise again. But the hearing itself, the hearing will arise again.
The same one?
Correct?
Same conditions? Or different ones?
No.
Different conditions?
Different one, because the object and other conditions are different.
Where about that one which is gone?
But, excuse me, Ajahn, what did you say?
That which has gone, can you find it somewhere?
No.
See, completely, absolutely, never to return, never to arise again. That's why no self at all, no thing at all. But there are different realities, different kinds of chittas, cetasikas, by conditions. That's the way Dhamma is.
That's another question Anne and myself had also about the text. When it is written that, for example, that the seeing never arises again,
It's,
we thought that would be a little confusing because seeing arises again. I mean, the activity of seeing. What
but,
doesn't arise again?
but it's not the same one, not the same object which is seen, not the same moment of, not that very moment of seeing as
Yeah.
before.
The seeing
So
now
I
is
think
different from seeing a moment ago.
Yeah, I know, I understand perfectly. I just think that in the written text, maybe I should write that the same moment of seeing never arises again, instead of saying the seeing never arises again.
This
Otherwise, there must be the idea of self all the time, not directly experience the arising and falling away completely, absolutely, of what is there. Before, even right now, seeing this moment is not the same a moment ago seeing.
Roti, earlier when you were asked, you responded by saying that you understand that the sound is not the same, but the seeing arises. The sound does not arise again, but the seeing arises again. But it's exactly the same.
No, I said that the moment of seeing, this moment of seeing will never arise again. But the activity of seeing, that will, if there are the proper conditions for it, then there will be seeing again.
No, but originally you responded by saying that you understand that the sound is not the same, but the seeing arises again. But actually the sound and the seeing, when it rises and falls away, they fall away completely. Both exactly the same. It's never the same sound, it's never the same seeing. So it's the same way that as you understand, the sound is gone and there's the seeing arises again, and here's the sound. Although you understand that the sound is a different sound, but even the seeing is a different seeing, and they condition each other.
For any conditioned reality, attachment is never the same attachment. Kindness is never the same kindness. Understanding is never the same understanding. Hearing is never the same hearing.
Rossi's point is just that it may not be clear from the context what exactly is being referred to. So suggesting a way of making it clearer. But Roddy, I think it depends on the context, whether it needs that elaboration or not. So that's a judgment for the translator to decide.
I think Roti will have to look at it as a whole again and see if we need to add just a little bit to clarify it or not.
Yeah, they're just like small details that can make the reading more easy or something like that.
Yeah, just adding or taking away a word or something. Yeah, I agree.
And what about the object of seeing? Is it the same?
No, Ajahn, nothing is the same again.
So the seeing cannot be the same as the object is not the same.
Right. Because the same conditions can never be repeated again, right? There's the conditions that support a certain moment of
But
of
it
whatever.
is always different ones, never be the same. That's why it is anicca, dukkha, and anatta.
And just to round off this discussion, the let's be clear, the characteristic of seeing is the same for every moment of seeing, and the characteristic of the object is the same for every moment of visible object. But actual moments are not the same in terms of, yeah.
Right. Yes. That's a little bit what I meant when I said that the activity of seeing will continue happening when there are the conditions. But maybe also your explanation about the characteristic of seeing, the characteristic of the seeing will always be the same, right?
We can say a jitta with the same function arises again, right? And the characteristic of that jitta is the same as the previous moment of the jitta having the same function. But Ajahn's point is different, and that is that the actual moment of seeing is gone forever, never to return, cannot be found.
And what do you mean by
What did
the
you say, Sarah?
What do you mean by the activity of seeing?
What do I mean with that? That's your...
Yes, you said the activity of seeing. Like now, what is the activity of seeing?
Well, it's the seeing, just the seeing.
Just a moment of
The
seeing.
chitta, which is just a moment of seeing. It's just one moment, not many moments, just one moment.
And this is the way to understand what is meant at the end of life by the ceasing of what is taken for the individual, because actually now it's just a moment of seeing gone, moments of attachment gone, whatever arises now is gone completely. And so actually there is death at each moment now. The individual of a moment ago has gone completely. The seeing that was gone has gone completely. So it's just the same now in reality.
Yeah, going back to that point of what we were saying initially about the Bhavanga, a little bit the doubt that we had, and myself, was that if we say that at the moment of death, all the conditions that sustain the particular present individuality cease to exist, right? But our doubt was that for example, the Bhavanga condition, the object of the Bhavanga is still gets conditioned, is still in the present life. So that was a little bit the fact that but that now I'm thinking that whatever conditions the present the Bhavanga of the next life are not the conditions that are supporting the individuality of that lifetime. I don't know if what I'm saying is a little bit confusing or not. maybe.
They're not.
I cannot hear, so.
They're not the same. As Sarah and Jonathan were explaining earlier, when we're talking about, if we're going to try to describe from where an individuality comes, it would be from, in any life, it would be from Dhamma and tendencies, accumulated tendencies. I think when we were talking about Bhavanga Roti, it had more to do, because I don't think, from what I'm understanding here, Bhavanga doesn't determine tendencies. It's not the accumulation of tendencies. It has no bearing on that. It's just what was it called? Life continuum. It's necessary for the continuity of what we call a life. But its object is immaterial. It really, it needs an object, but whatever that object is has nothing to do with the individuality that we call person, that we call that life, that next life. The only thing in common is the object, and I guess that's a continuation from one life to the next. It's just part of the process. It just is what it is.
And the object of the Bhavangachitas in the last life and is not the same as the object of the Bhavangachitas in this life. Because you said the object is always the object of each lifetime or something, but the object
I don't mean, is it not? I thought what we were talking about is the object of the Bhavangajita in the next life is the same as the object of the Javanajita's preceding death.
Yes, just of those five.
I think I did say something incorrect there, accidentally.
Yeah, so that was a little bit of confusion, because the object of the Bhavangachita is the same from the next life, is the same from the last Javanachita of this life.
Yes.
So different from the object of the Bhavangachitas.
Yes. Yes, I did say that incorrectly. Tadao,
So that means,
excuse me.
What confuses us a little bit is that, in a way, what is part of the next life happens in this life. In this case, the object of the Bhavangachita.
It's really
the object.
If we think of each moment now, each Chitta as being like a mini life, and then what happens after this moment of seeing falls away is conditioned by this moment of seeing, and the thinking about what is seen now is also conditioned by that experience of seeing. So it's just the same. So whatever arises is a condition for future moments in many different ways, by way of karma or bhakti-upanisya or anantara or samanantara pachya. And so the end of this lifetime is just a conventional idea of death. In fact, there's just one chitta after another, just like now. And as we stress, it has to be the way it is, because these are the way that different dharmas are conditioned. So just like the seeing consciousness has to be followed by sampatichana now. So the last chitta, the chuti chitta, which is just like the Bhavanga chittas now, has to be followed by patisandhi chitta, which is like another Bhavanga chitta, but has a different function and a different object, that's all. So the more there's understood about the realities now and how there's no individual in truth, but just different chittas, chaitasikas and rupas, the easier it is to understand that it had to be like that a moment ago, and has to be like that in future, and has to be like that the end of life and on.
So that's all regarding the two questions I had.
Good points.
Thank you very much.
Good points to bring up.
Thank you.
Tadao, you had mentioned earlier that you had some questions today.
Yes. I have a question about anatta. My question is, why do we not see anatta? Why we see atta all the time? I'm wondering, like, Attasanya or Attanuditi. These are the sort of main causes of not being able to see anatta as anatta. Or we do not see anatta because we live in the world of concepts. And is there any possibility of pinpoint why we do not see anatta as anatta? This is my question.
Is not understanding true or not true?
Mm.
See, and the not understanding, we use the term ignorance, right?
Yeah, yes.
And it is true, it's there. But what is it? No one there.
Mm.
When there's no doubt, it means that doubt does not arise.
Mm.
So when there's no understanding, no understanding. And we say that it's something. And that something which experiences is I, not understanding the true nature of that moment at all. So whatever is there now is so real, but no one there at all, by conditions to be different ones. Sound cannot be sight, see. Who conditioned that? No one. But there must be proper conditions for whatever arises to be just as it is. There is not understanding now. We cannot change it to be understanding. So no understanding or not understanding is a moment of not understanding. And that moment is conditioned not to understand. Even while we are talking about seeing right now. It depends on what one thinks about it. And there is no one, but thinking is there. So without any understanding, I think, see, all the time. Whatever is there can be object of not understanding, ignorance, or the moment of begin to understand. It's not as when it's very highly developed, directly experience the truth, which the one who has enlightened taught about it for the others to be able to understand the truth right now as not self. Can hardness be I or self or my body? Impossible, because it's then at moment when it's touched, and where is the reality which touches? It's a reality which can experience that, different from that which is experienced. So at moment of touching, and there's a little understanding of it as what is touched, hardness. See, no thing, only hardness. And where is the hardness? It's there because it has to impinge on the body base. So everything is conditioned, and there can be the beginning of understanding little by little the truth of whatever is now there, now here.
Okay, so
in brief, Tadao, we can say that because the realities like the seeing we were talking about before are not understood as they are, like seeing is taken for something, but the characteristic of seeing is not understood. That's why it's taken for utter, something of I. So it's only by understanding the different dhammas, seeing as seeing, what is seen, the visible object as visible object, that gradually the wrong idea of utter can be worn away and eradicated. If there's no understanding of different realities, it's impossible to get rid of the idea of utter, of something, or of I.
Okay, so to be short, yeah, we can say that, or can we say that because of ignorance, which do not see realities as they are, we live in, we assume that, we wrongly assume that there is atta. So ignorance is the biggest cause of not being able to see anatta as anatta. Can we say that?
I think it would be more correct to say that it's wrong view that makes the assumption of atta, because ignorance is just ignorant of the reality. Whether or not there is ignorance, there is still the holding of a view, one way or the other, about reality. And it's that accumulated tendency that thinks there, makes that assumption.
But wrong views associated with only Lobha Mula Citta. And fourth, the Lobha Mula Citta is associated with wrong views. But with other cittas, we also have a sense of atta. So we cannot say that it's due to wrong view. We have the sense of strong idea of self. Can we say that?
I didn't follow why the reasoning there, but the Sotapanna who has eliminated wrong view and no longer has a sense of atta still has ignorance arising from time to time.
But my point is that wrong view occurs only with 8 types of Lobha Mula Citta. So we cannot say that wrong view is the main cause of having the idea of self.
But wrong view is the idea of self.
So wrong view, when there's wrong view, it is the wrong view, the wrong understanding about dhammas as atta. But whenever any akusala arises of any kind, moha is there. So moha is there when there's wrong view, moha is there when it's attachment without wrong view, moha is there when there is aversion, moha is there when any moments of ignorance arise.
There's no wrong view, there's no sense of self. There may be the recognition of different individuals, but that is a different thing from the sense of self that we talk about.
Understanding.
No. Jonathan, think about performing kusala deeds. When we are performing kusala deeds, we still have the notion of self. I'm doing good things or wholesome things. So I still do not agree with your view that wrong view is the main cause of having this notion of atta.
Wrong idea.
Yeah, it is when there is ignorance. Of course, if there's no more ignorance, there's no more wrong view either. But wrong view is eradicated before ignorance. But I think we're on slightly the wrong track and talking about the main cause, because the sense of self is an accumulated tendency. It's just what's been accumulated. So that's why it's there. It's been accumulated over time. It's simpler than talking about the main cause. And I think that's something that is a conventional idea, a conventional approach, should I say.
When there's the idea that I am doing good deeds or I am having metta,
Oh.
It's not the moment of metta. When there's metta or kindness, no idea of I am doing anything. The wholesome citta just arises with friendliness and kindness. No idea that it's me at all. So little moments.
Okay, okay.
To consider is that the condition for the eradication of the idea of wrong idea of self is the development of understanding of the true nature of reality, any reality. So panya is the condition for the eradication of the idea of self, wrong idea of self.
So what's
you could say lack of panya is if you want to talk about the main cause, you could say lack of panya is the main cause of wrong idea of self. We don't talk about the main cause because it's an accumulated tendency, and it's there. It's the important thing to keep in mind.
Okay, thank you.
What's the relationship between ignorance and wrong view? This conversation is making me think about that. For example, can wrong view exist independently of ignorance?
No. But that goes for all unwholesome tendencies. They cannot exist independently of ignorance.
All right. And what about when one is ignorant of wrong view or
that's the normal. That's why there is so much wrong view. There's no understanding of it when it arises, no recognition of it when it arises. Because the characteristic of wrong view is to think that it's right. It's a view, it's a held view. Therefore, it's what one thinks is the truth about reality.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that part which you just mentioned about the wrong view. Part of wrong view is thinking that your view about self is correct, right?
That's its characteristic, given in the text that way. The characteristic of wrong view is to hold that it's right.
Because I was thinking of wrong view like a more kind of unconscious thing, usually. Like.
Yes, but it can be of different strengths and weaknesses, right? So it can be an asana, a very subtle oozing that is not even apparent. Yes.
The idea I see or I have metta. No doubt at the moment there is the view that it's correct, that it's I who see or I who have metta.
Is that wrong view now?
Well, at least as the asawa is there, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's right. Even now, there's no thinking about I, but I is there as aswa.
Tadao, did you have any more questions?
No, I'm okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? Feel free. Lucas, you've been listening for a while. Did you have anything you wanted to say?
Yes, I have two doubts, as a question to Tanajan, as we talk now, yeah? So my first question to Tanajan, because there is seeing, hearing, and doubt right now, and they appear all like they in the one moment, There doesn't seem be any interval in between them, at least even now, yeah? We discuss Dhamma, so there is less forgetfulness, yeah? Not like in daily life, in the shop or at work, but now we're discussing Dhamma and listen Dhamma, yeah? And Ajahn Sujin was mentioned, there is like seeing, hearing, and doubt, and that all are at the different moment, but it's impossible, I still so many years studying Dhamma, and for me they are the same moment, at one moment. I know it's wrong because Buddha said they are not in the same moment. And I wanted to ask Tanajan how to study Dhamma correctly. So maybe in next 10 years of doing that, I will see the difference or understand them, because still I can't see they are different or they are at different moments.
When there is the moment of not understanding what is now, it's the beginning of seeing that there can be understanding of that from the one who has enlightened. Otherwise, no understanding of whatever is now at all. That's why to know that no understanding of that which is now appearing will condition moment of how can it be known. And the one who could experience it has to listen to the truth and consider about that, whether it's truth. For example, is there I now? See, we try to think as usual. What is there is taken for I or something like that. But where's the I? See, the experiencing unknown as now. There is an element which arises and experience. It cannot do anything else. Just arises to an experience, that's all. Its function from moment to moment, unknown. That's why there is the idea of self, because not understanding the truth of it, it's only the experiencing. Without that which can experience, nothing can be there, as known as something all the time, or I am there all the time. I'm here. See, I'm here. So what is there? The element which experiences an object which is not known directly. Because you see that now we talk about so many objects arising and being the object of experiencing, arises and falls away, everything, even that which experiences. So this is not known as it is directly, clearly, so clear, because the word which talks about whatever arises falls away, the arising is not known. So the falling away cannot be known at all. That's why learning to understand the words of the truth. Now, what is that as a truth? Beginning to understand little by little, because it's not easy to direct experience the arising and falling away of that which is now arising and falling away. See, this is the way to understand the truth of what is there now. Otherwise, we just talk about whatever is there in the books, page to pages, but what is there now? Is it that we have learned before that now there is experiencing and experiencing? Why do we say that? Because something is there, and without the experiencing, which experience it, how can there be the understanding of something there? See, and how can anyone condition the moment of experiencing any object right now as its condition? That's why beginning to be confident in the teachings of the word of truth of whatever is there now. That is the beginning of studying the teachings. Otherwise, it's only in the book. What about Citta and Citasika and Metta and so on? But the moment when it's there, it's not known. That's why Buddha taught about what is there in every moment as it is. There is not just that which experience the object. We use that which is experience, the object of experiencing. But there cannot be just only that which is the chief of experiencing. This is just to learn to understand only one word at a time about only a reality at a time. To understand this moment as not self, very little, very gradually, but it's so true that it's gone. The moment of hearing is gone, the sound is gone. And the seeing right now, it seems like it sees all the time, but actually the object which impinges on it is different ones. Who knows? Without the, what we say, enlightenment of the truth of the Four Noble Truths. That's why the object of understanding is now. And what about the understanding? How much about it? Or just thinking, keep on thinking, sometimes from the word which is heard, and sometimes from one's own thought about that. See? That's why we need the right word to understand what is there from the one who has enlightened. Otherwise, who can understand this moment as only the experiencing of an object from time to time, different ones, very rapidity, very rapid. No one knows about it. Cannot be same object or the same reality which experiences it right now. See, or an unknown now, but it can be known by developing understanding with the understanding of whether it's I or whether it's only that which arises. Otherwise, there cannot be that which experience what is there now. And there is the idea of something because of the succession of the rapidity of the arising and falling away of one reality at a time. Otherwise, what about the word enlightenment? What about directly understanding that which is there now? And what is that which direct understanding with direct awareness? They are different. Awareness is not anyone. It's conditioned to arise to be aware. And understanding is not the awareness, but it arises to understand the object which is there with awareness. And this is learning the teachings to understand the truth of what is there now. Otherwise, it's only learning the words, not the truth. And think, and what is thinking? And what about feeling at moment of experiencing? It's the unknown. Until Buddha pointed out, there cannot be just only the experiences because it conditions the feeling of that which is experienced, which is not the chief of experiencing. This is all in one's life that can be known only by the true words about realities, which is a now. See, and what is there now? It's not that which passed, gone completely a moment ago or a moment ago. That's why understanding even the first round of the Ariya Satya, nothing is permanent. What is there now is not that which has gone a moment ago or just a moment ago. So what we call for a moment has more, many sub moments, see? Not just one, because at this moment of seeing, there's not only seeing, before seeing what's there, after seeing what's there, and there's thinking too about that, different ways. So where am I? Impossible, because actually they are only different realities arising by conditions and falls away. No one can stop the arising of that which is now arise from moment to moment continuously. And this is a beginning of learning about the truth of this moment as not self. It's a long way to go because it's a development of understanding from very little at a time of understanding right now to be on and on accumulated from moment to moment by Pajya. So many Pajya, Pakatu Panisya Pajya, Anandra Pajya, Samanandra Pajya, Sahachata Pajya, and so on. So when we talk about Anantara Pajya, we are talking about the moment when what is there, experiences has gone, but it's Nati Pajya, condition the arising of the next one by Sahasata Pajya and so on, to understand more and more about no self at all. Until then, we don't know when. But it has to begin with understanding of no self. Otherwise, no understanding of Dhamma. What is the meaning of Dhamma? What Dhamma is? A reality which is so rare now, but no understanding of its arising and its falling away. So what about understanding now? It's accumulated. Otherwise, next time we don't understand what we have talked about. But Sanya remembers, see. So now it's only the idea, remember the idea of no self, but not remember the truth of this moment which arises and falls away, which is no self. Many stages, many levels of understanding. Before there can be more funded confidence, more sattva, more respect of the enlightenment. Otherwise, no one can know the truth of what is known. So now it's the beginning to hear the word of the person of the one who has enlightened the truth and just talk about the truth of whatever is now as it is, just there for a very, very short moment. That's why what is seen now is not as it is. It looks like something all the time, different colors, different shape, but no color, no shape as people observe, but only that which can impinge on the ideas. And without that which experiences it, nothing can be. Nothing is there. But there are so many different realities. For example, Ovangacita is just like nothing at all. But the enlightened one enlightened the truth that even that there must be condition for that which experiences, but its object is unknown because it's not through the sense way or the process of seeing or mind or of hearing and so on. So whatever is now appearing is conditioned because of the impingement of that which impinge on the eye or the ear and the nose, see, all by conditions unknown. And that is what we have listened to the word avijja, no understanding. And it's there, it's a reality which now it performs its function, not understanding. But when there is hearing and thinking wisely, carefully, it begins to understand what is there. It's a reality which is different from other things. Sound is not sight, smell is not taste, and so on. Only samsara, arising and falling away, experiences different things by conditions. non-stop until the understanding is enough to eradicate the avijja, not understand that, little by little, from one to one. For example, now we're talking about that which arises and experience. It's only the word, but the actual reality is that we just do not talk about that which is not real, but that which is now so real, but not enough understanding of it, as it has arisen and fallen away all the time, one by one. Same category, but not the same one at all. In samsara, see. So what we cling to now is no more. So it's wise to cling to that which is not there anymore in life, each moment. That is the meaning of sunyata and anatta. Nothing. And then cannot be controlled or cannot make it different from the way it is. And when there is the understanding, that is the studying of the teachings about the truth, which is now appearing, but usually to unknown, the ignorance, but from hearing and thinking wisely, it can be known as normal. A moment ago is gone until it is directly experienced as patipati. So without pariyatti, it's impossible to understand a reality which at that moment is not just one, but so many, but it's still there, the same category, to know that even seeing, what about just a moment only? And the citta before that experience the same object but not see. And the citta as a seeing experience the same object but not hear, see, not seeing. That's why it needs mental factor to condition the different moments as it is. In life, nothing, sunyata and anatta. See, what is said now is not known until hearing about the truth of it from the one who has enlightened the truth of everything, no matter in what world, and understand what's meant by his word. Otherwise, there must be the idea of something all the time as permanent one. Like seeing now the same object, so permanent, but actually what impinges on the eyebase is not the whole shape of a watch or a chair, leg or arm, but only that which can impinge on that and appear as it is unknown, because the succession of that which arises so very rapidly, that's why it appears as something. So we understand what's meant in Tipitaka does not appear well as it means not appear as it is. So we live in the world of ignorance. Everything is in darkness, not understand that no thing at all. Whatever is now gone completely all the time. Otherwise, nothing can eradicate the idea of something or I at all. If there's no reality which can experience, can there be the idea of I? But when it arises and experience, what is that is not known as it is. So it's I. Who sees, who thinks, or who understands, or who do not understand. And this is so true in life, each moment. But Nobody can know that without the words of the Buddha, who had enlightened the truth. And after his enlightenment, what he said, reality are so very subtle, very difficult, very profound, not easy to know. But as there can be someone who has developed understanding in the past, can understand the benefit, the most precious moment in life is to understand this moment as it is, beginning with listening carefully and understanding it, what can be known now and what cannot be known now. The citta before seeing is not known. The citta after seeing can be known. Even they are there in process from moment to moment. So what can be known now is that which appears. But from hearing the truth about not just that, there must be moment before and moment after, and another main factor, cetasikas, which condition the difference between each moment. As citta, seeing is not panchattvara vachana, it's not sampadichana, and sampadichana is not sandirana. And where is it? See, each word cannot be answered without the teachings of the Buddha about it. Because it's now which can be known, there must be citta before seeing. And there is not only seeing, there is thinking, which think about that which is seen, or what is experienced as something, not as it is, as nothing. So what is true? Right understanding can arise at that moment, perform its function, not I who understand. Everything is only a moment of conditioned realities. No one can stop it the way it is. No one can stop its arising to be this or that as by conditions. Until there's no conditions to condition anything to arise, the end of that particular condition, like piti, can be eradicated completely, but not easily. That's why it needs such a parami to know what is the truth. What about the level of understanding now? Is it just talking about that, which is in the book, and understand the meaning of it? But what about now? It has to be higher developed of understanding. Without understanding, nothing can be known as it is. Even that is not so. Different moment of experiencing, not understanding, and understanding are different. So what's about your question?
That was my question. You answered, Tanajan. You answered it well. And so, because I just wanted to make sure again what is the right way, but you answered it now. I know, but because the last years I lost the interest in Dhamma, so there is a lot of what I'm worried the most is the forgetfulness. Now, when I listen to you, I'm here. Then less forgetfulness. I feel like that, but. Tomorrow morning again I'll go shops or I go somewhere, and then again will be I don't even be remember that was discussion today. So I'm worried about that forgetfulness in life, you know. That's not good life if like me is all the time forgetful, you know. I'm trying to change it, you know. That's the question.
And that is right understanding, to understand what is the cause or the condition for more understanding about the truth. No one. Otherwise, avijja is there, and or akusala is there, much more than kusala and understanding. because everything has its own conditions, even to understand its condition from hearing and considering. So when there's no hearing and considering, there must be that which has been accumulated for quite a long, long time in samsara to condition immediately, instantly, all the time. That is, it's against the current of avijja and lopa, the second truth.
And when you say, Lucas, I'm trying to change it, what do you mean, I'm trying to change it?
You know, this is
Possible to change what has been
it is like
conditioned
that.
already?
It's not good. So I want it to know how to do it the good way. You know.
But can anyone do anything? Can anyone change anything? Or only understanding itself can develop little by little, but not by doing it?
No, no one can change anything because it's conditioned.
And no one can do anything. No one can.
No, but you know, there are conditions, yeah, to know.
Like, what are the conditions now? Because we think of conventional situations like going out with his friends or opening the book.
For example, in Dhamma, interest in Dhamma. That's a condition, good one.
But each moment of
chanda, interest in Dhamma.
But each moment of chanda, like now, different moments of kusala and akusala chanda, each one is conditioned. Not I can make kusala chanda arise, or I can stop akusala chanda from arising. So whatever the reality now or any other time or in any other situation, it depends on conditions, what's arising, not on I to do anything at all.
Yes, Sarah, of course.
So whilst
that's I think, Sarah, this is the end of my question, because you and Ajahn told me now whatever I have to clear out. So now I feel much better. So, you know, thank you, you know.
Thanks for bringing up your good topics. Usually we go through life thinking I can do something, I can change it if I don't go out with these friends, or I stay at home more, or I go to a quiet place, or I open more Dhamma books. This will be better. And then there's disappointment when it's not like the way we would like it to be, because we think in terms of situations and what I can do, instead of just understanding what's conditioned right now at this very moment, no matter it's doubt, no matter it's wrong view, no matter it's seeing, whatever is conditioned right now. And when Tadao asked what is the way to understand anatta, the way is just understanding of reality at this very moment. But there's no other way. But not I who can do it, or I who can understand it with it.
Yeah, I know that this is Chira Kala Bhavana. So it takes tremendous amount of time to have even the first stage of jnana. But here I have a question, and it's well discussed, but I do not understand the difference between Kanti and Vidya. Why they are represented by just by single Chetasika. To me, they have very different qualities, but in Abhidhamma, they are regarded as just a manifestation of one Chetasika. Could you give me an answer?
I think there are different aspects, like when we talk about dosa, irritation is one aspect, fear is one aspect, anger is another. They're different kinds of dosa, but they're all dosa cetasika. And
Yes.
it's the same with most cetasikas, many different aspects. Same with virya. So what we think of as courage is one aspect, or effort is one aspect, and patience, kanti, is another aspect. Different aspects of the same.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Others should feel free to come in with any questions, comments, or even a topic you'd like to hear some discussion on. Please.
It's better to ask because this is very rare opportunities in the round of birth and deaths. And I'm very happy to have this kind of opportunities twice a week. It's an amazing sort of a thing. So better ask questions while we are in this world.
Very true. I find I'm often not in Thailand where I can go to discussions most of the year, and it's interesting listening to the discussions, but so much more useful to be able to contribute or to ask questions, and we don't otherwise have that opportunity. So Zoom has made things really wonderful in this world.
Khun Tadao, is there you?
Yeah, it's always me. All the time.
So instead of thinking about why I was born here in this world, what about the absolute realities which are conditioned to be different ones all the time? No one there. Can you stop the way it is? The nature of that, which nobody can change it. No one can stop its arising at all because it's there now. Who make it arise? No one. Or who make me born in this world, in this realm? See, only thinking about the I, but not about the absolute realities.
Yeah.
It does not belong to anyone at all. It's there. It's nature, the way the nature is, the way Chitta is, the way Chittisak is, by conditioned. That's all. To the end, when there's no more conditions for anything to arise. So, no I was born in this world or any world.
To me, such
Also,
a
there's no one who can ask questions. Also, there's no one who can ask questions. Nor asking questions. Asking question doesn't precisely mean that you will have more understanding or that there will be more. You will gain something.
Sure.
On the contrary, probably, not probably, but it could also mean that you're just reinforcing the idea of self, somebody who can understand more by doing a certain kind of action.
Different moments, different cheetahs. each one conditioned
yeah,
to just the way it is.
but I'm also very happy, like Tadao, of having the opportunity to have this discussion. I'm very grateful to everyone involved. Thank you.
So I may have one more question, quick one to Tanajan, if no one wants.
Go ahead.
Yes, because Tanajan you're saying that, no, Tanajan was saying something about that it's close, something is closer, yeah, that to know. And like some, for example, Sampatichana, Santirana, Chitta, they are not known, yeah, at all. And for example, seeing or visible object, Ajahn Sujin said it's close, it's easy to know. So my question to Tanajan is, so it's really easier to know visible object or seeing or hearing, yes, than Santirana or Bhavanga, yes?
Can that which does not appear be known, the truth of it?
Tanajan, Bhavanga Chitta, yes, but if this is not Bhavanga, this is Santirana or Sampatichana, they do appear, yes, but so they are more hard to know, yeah, more far than see.
So what can be known now?
I think what Buddha says, everything can be known literally, even Santirana and Sampatichana.
Only that which appears, no selection, no choice to have this or that appear at all. That's why even that which is now appearing is not known. So how can there be the understanding of that which is not known, which is not known now? Only the name, only the understanding of the difference one from moment to moment by the way it is, but such Pajaya, so many Pajaya. And how can anyone not let the whatever appear now go away or gone or fall away? No one can do anything at all because actually each moment is conditioned by not just one conditions, not only one condition at all. For example, without the eye base, without that which can impinge on it, without the chitta arising and experiencing, it can, that is known as a thing, like table, chairs. See, the truth of it is that it's conditioned to arise. No one can stop its arising at all. This is the way it is now, appearing as it is, as no one can make it arise, but no understanding of what is there as it is. It appears like something there with shape and form, but actually, can that shape, the whole shape and form, impinge on the eye base? See, what is there which can impinge on the eye base, which can be experienced, not with understanding, until the truth of it is opened up, revealed by the enlightenment of the Buddha. So we can consider his words about what is there now, whether it's true or not. The truth is that it's there and it's not there anymore. Who knows? But the truth is that. That's why the idea of self and wrong view cannot be eradicated only by the understanding directly. We are talking about seeing, there is seeing, but no direct understanding of the experiencing which is there, arising and falling away. So it takes quite a long time with our parami, satya parami, how much understanding. Even we talk a lot for years and years, but it depends on conditions, because the conditions for ignorance is there so much, cannot imagine how great it is to condition any moment of not understanding that, which arises, it falls away. But the truth is that if it does not arise, it cannot be there. Each one so very rapidly gone, but the succession forms up the idea of something with shape and form. Words, memory, remembrance, whatever is there, it's not anyone at all. By conditions. That's why begin with the understanding more and more, firmer and firmer about no one at all, no thing at all. They are different conditioned realities. That's all. Is it worth to cling to? Nothing. Not anymore. The sound, cling to it, or it's not there to be clung. As soon as it has arisen, it falls away instantly. No more. In samsara. But ignorance so much accumulated, it covers up the truth. No word about not self, no one at all can be at the other moment when there is no talking about it or understanding it little by little. So even to think about that which is now appearing, no matter when, anger, like, attachment is there by condition, but no understanding of not self, even thinking, just thinking, not directly experiencing yet. But that can be conditioned for lead it to the moment when it's there to understand its quality or characteristic as it's just that which arises to see, and this is its function, its characteristic. It cannot hear, it cannot think, but it sees. Now it's there, covered up by ignorance, until there is a little understanding, little, until it's strong enough to, no matter where you are, no matter what is there, right understanding can be even to think just about that before there can be the direct awareness, just directly aware of the characteristic which is the self which sees. And this is the way it is. No one can hurry or rush to know it, to experience it, because it depends on conditions. To be a moment of direct awareness of a reality, not anything, but a reality, as is known from hearing, considering, intellectual understanding. So without intellectual understanding firm enough, there cannot be condition for direct understanding of the truth of that which is now appearing. Appear well. Just begin to appear well, but not well enough to experience its arising and falling away. But Buddha taught the way to understand that from hearing, considering, until no doubt about the nature of that which is yourself. So that can be conditioned for the moment of directly aware of that object. By then, the understanding of no one, no self, begin to develop little by little until the object appear well and more, well, until no one there. That is vipassana jnana. So Satya knows what level of understanding is now. And if there is the clinging to the I so firmly, I'd like to understand this, and what about that? See, no understanding of that which is now appearing to be known as it is, arising and falling away by conditions. No one can stop the way it is because actually there's no one at all. And this is the way to study the teachings, to understand the purpose, the point of listening, to understand the truth. And the truth is now, every moment, which is not understood yet.
It's
So that's the meaning of patience too. Easy way. But the right is the right, the wrong is the wrong. To try with the idea of self is right or wrong.
wrong.
Then there's the idea of self, there must be self, more self, to who tries.
But can't it be understood, for, Ajahn, like there is self? It's
And just a little bit of understanding is the path leading to letting go. The idea of I try, I do, I want, all comes from pariyati, so firm. So one knows by oneself, is it firm enough? Can it condition moment of even thinking, no matter when and where, unexpectedly, to know that, oh, it's not me? Even that is so very beneficial. To not forget about the truth. But there are anatta, see, that is the meaning of patience, kanti parami. Sattva parami and nekama parami, all there, not I at all. They are only the developed understanding, little by little.
So, Dika, Ajahn, thank you very much.